Joining me right now is Women for Trump National Co-Chair Gina Loudon. Gina, it's good to see you. This is disturbing. You know, I don't know what's in the corn out there in Iowa right now, but the idea that Bernie Sanders actually could win, that's a troubling idea, I think, for our country, for our future, for our children's future. We've seen this movie play out before. You know, you have only to look back at the USSR, I guess, to know how this ended. It never ends well. Your thoughts?
It never wins well. It fails every time, and every time that we lift regulations and do the things that President Trump has done, we win. And President Trump has tested this theory over and over again in his presidency. He has been a results-oriented president. He has tried it over and over again with a million knives in his back and a million possible distractions, and yet he's done one thing. He's removed these regulations, and he has made it possible for business to thrive. And so people can say, well, Bernie's some sort of maverick, like Trump was a maverick, and so aren't they kind of the same? No, they're not the same, Trish, because President Trump has been creating jobs his whole entire life, and Bernie Sanders has never created a job in the private sector that I know of in his whole entire life. And that's the difference, and I believe that's the difference that Americans are going to see when they start thinking about the results that President Trump has produced and how we would be regressing to elect someone like Bernie Sanders, for sure.
It's a really good point, Gina. You know what's amazing to me as well is how many independents are actually saying to themselves, wait a second, you know, what's at stake here? What's at stake is my future, my children's future, our economy as a whole. And consequently, you're seeing more people in the middle and more people that were traditionally Democrats coming over to the other side and saying, President Trump is who I want as president because the alternative is socialism.
Democrats and independents, and I think you made that point really well in your monologue earlier in the show, but that's a really important point to point out, as you do, because that's what we're seeing at these Trump rallies over and over again. And the president hasn't taken anything for granted, and Team Trump has not taken anything for granted, and that's why we're seeing the donations come in to Team Trump in smaller amounts from minorities and from women in double the amounts that they came in 2016. Those send a message no matter what we're hearing in the polls, because let's not forget, these are the same skewed polls we saw in 2016 that said Hillary Clinton was going to win and Trump had no chance, remember? So, but small donations from groups that have traditionally voted either independent or Democrat, that really speaks volumes about where the American electorate really is and where they're going to show up on Election Day.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be numbers like we can't even predict. Yeah.
Wow. Gina Loudon, good to see you. Thank you so much. Okay.